Brother King Cam, are you reading again this morning?
Yes, sir. That's fine.
All right, Brother Khalil.
Yes, sir. I got you.
All right. And I know you, Sister Marianne, will be reading. Okay. So, what we're going to do this morning is we're going to read one section each, meaning like we're going to, amongst the three of us, instead of doing 5 sections, we're going to read one section and then the person will come after us. So, let me write down the order so I can keep track. Brother King Cam, can you put that link in the collective for Sister Tomorrow?
Assalamu alaikum. I found it, Brother Ben.
Well, excellent. Great. Okay, so I'll go first, then Sister Miriam, then Brother King Cam, then Brother Khalil. That will be the order that we'll go in today. All right.
It was it was you, then myself, then who?
Brother King Cam, then Brother Khalil. All right. Part 5. And all married women, except those whom your right hands possess, are forbidden. This is Allah's ordinance to you, and lawful for you all women besides those, provided that you seek them with your property, taking them in marriage, not committing fornication. Then, as to those who you profit by marrying, give them their dowries as appointed. And there is no blame on you about what you mutually agree after what is appointed of dowry. Surely Allah is ever knowing, wise. And whoever among you cannot afford to marry free believing women, let him marry such of your believing maidens as your right hands possess. And Allah knows best your faith. You are sprung the one from the other. So marry them with the permission of their masters and give them their dowries justly, they being chaste, not fornicating, nor receiving paramours. Then if they are guilty of adultery when they are taken in marriage, they shall suffer half the punishment for free married women. This is for him among you who fears falling into evil, and that you abstain is better for you, and Allah is forgiving, merciful.
Section 5. Women's rights over their earnings. Allah desires to explain to you and to guide you into the ways of those before you, and to turn to you mercifully. And Allah is knowing, wise. And Allah desires to turn to you mercifully, and those who follow their lusts desire that you should deviate with a great deviation. Allah desires to make light your burdens, and man is created weak. O you who believe, devour not your property among yourselves by illegal methods, except that it be trading by your mutual consent, and kill not your people. Surely Allah is ever merciful to you. And whoso does this aggressively and unjustly, we shall soon cast him into fire, and this is ever easy for Allah. If you shun the great things which you are forbidden, we shall do away with your evil inclinations and cause you to enter an honorable place of entering. And covet not that by which Allah has made some of you excel others. For men is the benefit of what they earned, and for women is the benefit of what they earn. And ask Allah of his grace. Surely Allah is ever knowing of all things. And to everyone we have appointed heirs of that which parents and near relatives leave. And as to those with whom your right hands have ratified agreements, give them their due. Surely Allah is ever witness over all things.
Disagreement. Section 6. Disagreement between husband and wife. Men are the maintainers of women. With that, Allah has made some of them to excel others, and with what they spend out of their wealth. So the good women are obedient, guarding the unseen, as Allah has guarded. And as to those on whose part you feel desertion, admonish them and leave them alone in the beds and chastise them. So if they obey you, seek not a way against them. Surely Allah is ever exalted, great. And if you fear a breach between the two, appoint an arbiter from his people and an arbiter from her people. If they both desire agreement, Allah will effect harmony between them. Surely Allah is ever knowing, aware. And serve Allah and associate not with him. And be good to the parents and to the near of kin and the orphans and the needy and the neighbor of your kin and the alien neighbor and the companion in the journey and the wayfarer and those whom your right hand possess. Surely Allah loves not such as are proud, boastful, who are niggardly and bid people to be niggardly and hide that which Allah has given them out of his grace. And we have prepared for the disbelievers an amazing chastisement, and those who spend their wealth to be seen of men and believe not in Allah nor in the last day. And as for him whose companion is the devil, an evil companion is he. And what harm would it do to them if they believe in Allah in the last day and spend of that which Allah has given them? And Allah is ever knower of them. Surely Allah wrongs not the weight of an atom, and if it is a good deed, he multiplies it and gives from himself a great reward. But how will it be we bring from people, when we bring from every people a witness and bring thee as a witness against thee? On that day, will those who disbelieved and disobeyed the messenger desired the earth were leveled with them, desired that the earth were leveled with them, and they can hide no fact from Allah.
Section 7, Purification of the Soul. O you who believe, go not near prayer when you are intoxicated till you know what you say, nor after sexual intercourse, except you are merely passing by until you have bathed. And if you are sick or on a journey, or one of you come from privy, or you have touched the woman, and you cannot find water, betake yourselves to pure earth, then wipe your faces and your hands. Surely Allah is ever pardoning, forgiving. Seest thou not those to whom a portion of the book was given? They by error and desire to make you err from the right way. And Allah best knows your enemies, and Allah is sufficient as a friend, and Allah is sufficient as a helper. Some of those who are Jews alter words from their places and say, we have heard and we disobey, and say hear without being made to hear, and say Rayana, distorting with their tongues and slandering religion. And if they had said, we hear and we obey and hearken and unzerna, it would have been better for them and more upright. But Allah has cursed them on account of their disbelief, so they believe not, but a little. O you who have been given the book, believe in what we have revealed, verifying that which you have, before we destroy the leaders and turn them on their backs, or curse them as we curse Sabbath breakers. And the command of Allah is ever executed. Surely Allah forgives not that a partner should be set up with him, and forgives all besides that to whom he pleases. And whoever sets up a partner with Allah, he devises indeed a great sin. Hast thou not seen those who attribute purity to themselves? Nay, Allah purifies whom he pleases, and they will not be wronged a whit. See how they forge lies against Allah? And sufficient is this as a manifest sin.
Section 8, Kingdom granted to Abraham's descendants. Hast thou not seen those to whom a portion of the book was given? They believe in sorcery and diviners, and say of those who disbelieve, these are better guided in the path than those who believe. Those are they whom Allah has cursed, and whomever Allah curses, thou wilt not find a helper for him. or have they a share in the kingdom? But then they would not give to people even the speck on a date stone. Or do they envy the people for that which Allah has given them his grace? But indeed we have given to Abraham's children the book and the wisdom, and we have given them a grand kingdom. Some of them is he who believes in him, and of them is he who turns away from him, and hell is suffering to burn. Those who disbelieve in our messages, we shall make them enter fire as often as their skins are burned. We shall change them from other skins that they may taste the chastisement. Surely Allah is ever mighty wise. And those who believe and do good, we shall make them enter gardens wherein flow rivers to abide in them forever. For them therein are pure companions, and we shall make them enter a pleasant shade. Surely Allah commands you to make over trusts to those who's worthy of them. And then when you judge between people, you judge with justice. Surely Allah admonishes you with what is excellent. Surely Allah is ever hearing, seeing. O you who believe, obey Allah and obey the messenger and those in authority from among you. Then if you quarrel about anything, refer it to Allah and the messenger if you believe in Allah and the last day. This is best and more suitable to achieve the end.
Section 9. The prophet must be obeyed. Hast thou not seen those who assert that they believe in that which has been revealed to thee and that which was revealed before thee? They desire to seek the judgment of the devil, though they have been commanded to deny him, and the devil desires to lead them far astray. And when it is said to them, come to that which Allah has revealed, and to the messenger, thou seest the hypocrites turning away from thee with aversion. But how is it that when a misfortune befalls them on account of that which their hands have sent before, they come to thee swearing by Allah, we desire not but good and concord. These are they, the secrets of whose hearts Allah knows. So turn aside from them and admonish them and speak to them effective words concerning themselves. And we sent no messenger but that he should be obeyed by Allah's command. And had they, when they wronged themselves, come to thee and asked forgiveness of Allah, and the messenger had also asked forgiveness for them, they would have found Allah oft returning to merciful. But no, by thy Lord, they believe not until they make thee a judge of what is in dispute between them. Then find not any straightness in their hearts as to that which thou decidest, and submit with full submission. And if we had enjoined them, lay down your lives or go forth from your homes, they would not have done it except a few of them. And if they had done what they are exhorted to do, it would certainly have been better for them and more strengthening. And then we would certainly have given them from ourselves a great reward, and we would certainly have guided them in the right path. And whoever obeys Allah and the messenger, they are with those upon whom Allah has bestowed favors from among the prophets, and the truthful and the faithful and the righteous, and a goodly company are they. Such is the grace from Allah, and Allah is sufficient as knower.
Section 10. Believers must defend themselves. O you who believe, take your precautions, then go forth in detachments or go forth in a body. And among you is he who would hang back. Then if a misfortune befalls you, he says, Allah indeed bestowed a favor on me as I was not present with them. And if bounty from Allah comes to you, he would cry as if there were no friendship between you and him. Would that I had been with them, then I should have achieved a mighty success. So let those who fight in the way of Allah, who sell this world's life for the hereafter, and whoever fights in the way of Allah, be he slain or be he victorious, we shall grant him a mighty reward. And what reason have you not to fight in the way of Allah, and of the weak among the men and the women and the children who say, our Lord, take us out of this town, whose people are oppressors, and grant us from thee a friend, and grant us from thee a helper. Those who believe fight in the way of Allah, and those who disbelieve fight in the way of the devil. So fight against the friends of the devil. Surely the struggle of the devil is ever weak.
Section 11, Attitudes of the Hypocrites. Hast thou not seen those to whom it was said, withhold your hands and keep up prayer and pay the poor rate? But when fighting is prescribed for them, lo, a party of them fear men as they ought to fear Allah, or with a greater fear, and say, our Lord, why hast thou ordained fighting for us? Wouldst thou not grant us respite to a near term? Say, the enjoyment of this world is short, and the hereafter is better for him who keeps his duty, and you shall not be wronged a whit. Wherever you are, death will overtake you, though you are in towers raised high. And if good befalls them, they say, this is from Allah. And if a misfortune befalls them, they say, this is from thee. Say, all is from Allah. But what is the matter with these people that they make no effort to understand anything? Whatever good befalls thee, O man, it is from Allah, and whatever misfortune befalls thee, it is from thyself. And we have sent thee, O prophet, to mankind as a messenger, and Allah is sufficient as a witness. Whoever obeys the messenger, he indeed obeys Allah. And whoever turns away, we have not sent thee as a keeper over them. And they say, obedience. But when they go out from thy presence, a party of them plan by night, doing otherwise than what thou sayest. And Allah writes down what they plan by night. So turn aside from them and trust in Allah. And Allah is sufficient as having charge of affairs. Will they not then meditate on the Quran? And if it were from any other than Allah, they would have found in it many a discrepancy. But if any news of security or fear comes to them, they spread it abroad. And if they had referred to the messenger and to those in authority among them, those of them who can search out knowledge of it would have known it. And were it not for the grace of Allah upon you and his mercy, you would certainly have followed the devil, save a few. Fight then in Allah's way. Thou art not responsible except for thyself, and urge on the believers. It may be that Allah will restrain the fighting of those who disbelieve, and Allah is stronger in prowess and stronger to give exemplary punishment. Whoever intercedes in a good cause has a share of it, and whoever intercedes in an evil cause has a portion of it. And Allah is ever keeper over all things. And when you are greeted with a greeting, greet with one better than it, or return it. Surely Allah ever takes account of all things. Allah, there is no God but He. He will certainly gather you together on the resurrection day. There is no doubt in it. And who is more true in word than Allah?
Section 12, how to deal with the hypocrites. Why should you then be two parties in relation to the hypocrites while Allah has made them return to disbelief for what they have earned? Do you desire to guide him whom Allah leaves in error? And whomsoever Allah leaves in error, thou canst not find a way for him. They long that you should disbelieve as they have disbelieved, so that you might be on the same level. So take not from among them friends until they flee their homes in Allah's way. Then if they turn back to hostility, seize them and kill them where you find them, and take no friend nor helper from among them, except those who join a people between whom and you there is an alliance, and who come to you, their hearts shrinking from fighting you or fighting their own people. And if Allah had pleased, he would have given them power over you, so that you would have fought, so that they would have fought you. So if they withdraw from you and fight you not and offer you peace, then Allah allows you no way against them. You will find others who desire to be secure from you and secure from their own people. Whenever they are made to return to hostility, they are plunged into it. So if they withdraw not from you, nor offer you peace and restrain their hands, then seize them and kill them wherever you find them. And against these, we have given you a clear authority.
Section 13, murder of a Muslim. And a believer would not kill a believer except by mistake. And he who kills a believer by mistake should free a believing slave. And blood money should be paid to his people unless they remit it as alms. But if he be from a tribe hostile to you and he is a believer, the freeing of a believing slave suffices. And if he be from a tribe between whom and you there is a covenant, the blood money should be paid to his people along with the freeing of a believing slave. But he who has not the means should fast for 2 months successively, a penance from Allah, and Allah is ever knowing, wise. And whoever kills a believer intentionally, his punishment is hell, abiding therein. And Allah is wroth with him, and he has cursed him and prepared for him a grievous chastisement. O you who believe, when you go forth to fight in Allah's way, make investigation and say not to anyone who offers you salutation, thou art not a believer, seeking the good of this world's life. But with Allah's, there are abundant gains. You too were such before. Then Allah conferred a benefit on you, and make investigation. Surely Allah is ever aware of what you do. The holders back from among the believers, not disabled by injury, and those who strive hard in Allah's way with their property and their persons are not equal. Allah has made the strivers with their property and their persons to excel the holders back a high degree. The holders back a high degree. And to each Allah has promised good, and Allah has granted to the strivers above the holders back a mighty reward, high degrees from him and protection and mercy. And Allah is ever forgiving, merciful.
Section 14, Muslims who remain with the enemy. As for those whom the angels cause to die, while they are unjust to themselves, the angels will say, what were you doing? They will say, we were weak in the earth. They will say, was not Allah's earth spacious so that you could have migrated therein? So these it is whose refuge is hell, and it is an evil resort. Except the weak from among the men and the women and the children who have not the means, nor can they find a way to escape. So these it may be that Allah will pardon them, and Allah is ever pardoning, forgiving. And whoever flees in Allah's way, he will find in the earth many a place of escape and abundant resources. And whoever goes forth from his home fleeing in Allah and fleeing to Allah and his messenger, then death overtakes him. His reward is indeed with Allah, and Allah is ever forgiving, merciful.
Section 15, prayer when fighting. And when you journey in the earth, there is no blame on you if you shorten the prayer. If you fear that those who disbelieve will give you trouble, surely the disbelievers are an open enemy to you. And when thou art among them and leadest the prayer for them, let a party of them stand up with thee, and let them take their arms. Then when they have performed their prostration, let them go to your rear, and let another party who have not prayed come forward and pray with thee, and let them take their precautions and their arms. Those who disbelieve long that you may neglect your arms and your baggage, that they may attack you with a sudden united attack. And there is no blame on you If you are inconvenienced on an account of rain, or if you are sick, to put away your arms and take your precautions. Surely Allah has prepared a basing chastisement for the disbelievers. So when you have finished the prayer, remember Allah standing and sitting and reclining. But when you are secure from danger, keep up regular prayer. Prayer indeed has been enjoined on the believers at fixed times. And be not weak-hearted in pursuit of the enemy. If you suffer, they too suffer as you suffer. And you hope from Allah what they hope not. And Allah is ever knowing, wise.
Section 16. Hypocrites are dishonest. Surely we have revealed the book to thee with truth, that thou mayest judge between people by means of what Allah has taught thee. And be not one pleading the cause of the dishonest. And ask for forgiveness of Allah. Surely Allah is ever forgiving, merciful. And contend not on behalf of those who act unfaithfully to their souls. Surely Allah loves not him who is treacherous, sinful. They seek to hide from men, and they cannot hide from Allah. And he is with them when they counsel by night matters which please him not. And Allah ever encompasses what they do. Behold, you are they who may contend on their behalf in this world's life, but who will contend with Allah on their behalf on the resurrection day, and who will have charge of their affairs. And whoever does evil or wrongs his soul, then asks forgiveness of Allah, will find Allah forgiving, merciful. And whoever commits a sin, commits it only against himself, and Allah is ever knowing, wise. And whoever commits a fault or a sin, then accuses of it one innocent, he indeed takes upon himself the burden of calumny and manifest sin.
Section 17. Secret counsels of the hypocrites. And were it not for Allah's grace upon thee and his mercy, a party of them had certainly designed to ruin thee, and they ruin only themselves, and they cannot harm thee in any way. And Allah has revealed to thee the book and the wisdom, and taught thee what thou knowest not or knewest not, and Allah's grace on thee is very great. There is no good in most of their secret counsels except in him who enjoins charity or goodness or reconciliation between people. And whoever does this, seeking Allah's pleasure, we shall give him a mighty reward. And whoever acts hostilely to the messenger after guidance has become manifest to him and follows other than the way of the believers, we turn him to that to which he himself turns and make him enter hell, and it is an evil resort.
Section 18. Idolatry condemned. Surely Allah forgives not setting up partners with him, and he forgives all besides this to whom he pleases. And whoever sets up a partner with Allah, he indeed goes far astray. Besides him, they call on nothing but female divinities, and they call on nothing but a rebellious devil, whom Allah has cursed. And he said, certainly I will take of thy servants an appointed portion, and certainly I will lead them astray and excite in them vain desires, and bid them so that they will slit the ears of the cattle, and bid them so that they will alter Allah's creation. And whoever takes the devil for a friend, forsaking Allah, he indeed suffers a manifest loss. He promises them and excites vain desires in them, and the devil promises them only to deceive. These, their refuge is hell, and they will find no way of escape from it. And those who believe and do good, we shall make them enter gardens in which rivers flow, to abide therein forever. It is Allah's promise in truth. And who is more truthful in word than Allah? It will not be in accordance with your vain desires, nor the vain desires of the people of the book. Whoever does evil will be requited for it, and will not find for himself besides Allah a friend, or a helper. And whoever does good deeds, whether male or female, and he or she is a believer, these will enter the garden, and they will not be dealt with unjustly. And who is better in religion than he who submits himself entirely to Allah while doing good to others and follows the faith of Abraham, the upright one. And Allah took Abraham for a friend. And to Allah belongs whatever is in the heavens and whatever is in the earth. And Allah ever encompasses all things.
Section 19, equitable dealings with orphans and women. And they ask thee a decision about women. Say, Allah makes known to you his decision concerning them, and that which is recited to you in the book is concerning widowed women, whom you give not what is appointed for them, while you are not inclined to marry them, nor to the weak among children, and that you should deal justly with the orphans. And whatever good you do, Allah is surely ever knower of it. And if a woman fears ill usage from her husband or desertion, no blame is on them if they effect reconciliation between them. And reconciliation is better. And avarice is met with in men's minds. And if you do good to others and keep your duty, surely Allah is ever aware of what you do. And you cannot do justice between wives, even though you wish it, but be not disinclined from one with total discrimination, so that you leave her in suspense. And if you are reconciled and keep your duty, surely Allah is ever forgiving, merciful. And if they separate, Allah will render them both free from what out of his ampleness. And Allah is ever ample, giving, wise. And to Allah belongs whatever is in the heavens and whatever is in the earth. And certainly we enjoin those who were given the book before you, and we enjoin you to keep your duty to Allah. And if you disbelieve, surely to Allah belongs whatever is in the heavens and whatever is in the earth. And Allah is ever self-sufficient, praiseworthy. And to Allah belongs whatever is in the heavens and whatever is in the earth. And Allah suffices as having charge of affairs. If he please, he will take you away, O people, and bring others. And Allah is ever powerful to do that. Whoever desires the reward of this world, then with Allah is the reward of this world and the hereafter. And Allah is ever hearing, seeing.
Section 20, hypocrisy condemned. O you who believe, be maintainers of justice, bearers of witness for Allah, even though it be against your own selves or your parents or near relatives, whether he be rich or poor. Allah has a better right over them both. So follow not your low desires, lest you deviate. And if you distort or turn away from truth, surely Allah is ever aware of what you do. O you who believe in Allah and his messenger and the book which he has revealed to his messenger and the book which he revealed before. And whoever disbelieves in Allah and his angels and his books and his messengers and the last day, he indeed strays far away. Those who believe, then disbelieve, again believe, and again disbelieve, then increase in disbelief. Allah will never forgive them nor guide them in the right way. Give news to the hypocrites that for them is a painful chastisement. Those who take disbelievers for friends rather than believers, do they seek for might from them? Might surely belongs wholly to Allah. And indeed, he has revealed to you in the book that when you hear Allah's messages disbelieved in and mocked at, sit not with them until they enter into some other discourse, for then indeed you will be like them. Surely Allah will gather together the hypocrites and the disbelievers all in hell. Those who wait for misfortunes for you, then if you have a victory from Allah, they say, were we not with you? And if there is a chance for the disbelievers, they say, did we not prevail over you and defend you from the believers? So Allah will judge between you on the day of resurrection. And Allah will by no means give the disbelievers away against the believers.
Section 21, End of the Hypocrites. The hypocrites seek to deceive Allah, and He will requite their deceit to them. And when they stand up for prayer, they stand up sluggishly. They do it only to be seen of men and remember Allah but little, wavering between that and this, belonging neither to these nor to those. And whomsoever Allah leaves in error, thou wilt not find a way for him. O you who believe, take not the disbelievers for friends rather than the believers. Do you desire to give Allah a manifest proof against yourselves? The hypocrites are surely in the lowest depths of the fire, and thou wilt find no helper for them, save those who repent and amend and hold fast to Allah and are sincere in their obedience to Allah. These are with the believers, and Allah will soon grant the believers a mighty reward. Why should Allah chastise you if you are grateful and believe? And Allah is ever multiplier of rewards, knower.
All right, family. Congratulations. We have read day number 5. What we do towards the end or at the end, we allow you to share whatever stood out to you. So if you have anything that you would like to share that stood out to you, something that you found to be valuable for your life, it may be something that is valuable for yourself as well. I mean, for others as well. Sister Marianne, can you share some of those announcements? Because I done forgot already for the group before we get started with that, though.
Yes, sir. One of the things I just wanted to bring to everyone's attention is that there's something that has been renamed called the Umrah Reflects. It used to be previously named the prayer line, the Ramadan prayer line. So I would just encourage all of us to take the time to listen to the podcast. It can be found on an app or online at Podbean. So www.podbean.com. They do it every morning. If you want to go back and hear the minister's address, it was the first day of Ramadan. And so you can find all of that at podbean.com or on the app. And it's called the Umrah Reflects.
All right. Did anybody want to go first on what stood out for them? If you do, press the number 1. And if you were a reader and you want to start it off, you guys can go ahead. All right. Sister Yolanda, 2X.
Assalamu alaikum and Ramadan Mubarak.
Walaikum salam, Ramadan Kareem.
In section 17, Secret Counsels of Hypocrisy, Ayat 115 grabbed a hold of me because as in the believers meeting, it was mentioned to us to halt on international travel. And as 115 states, and whoever acts hostilely to the messengers after guidance has become manifest to him and follows other than the way of the believers, return him to that which he himself turns and make him enter hell. And it is an evil resort. So I will do my due diligence and hearken to the instructions that have been given to us as believers, and also inform people that I know that like to travel internationally and so forth, that they, just give them a word of warning, not to share what we've been given entirely from our believers meeting, but just to, do my due diligence and good deeds while I'm in this season of Ramadan to just warn my people as best I can. Whether they choose to listen or not, that's on them. But at least I gave them the warning. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam. Yes, ma'am. I got a few, so I'm gonna just state one of mine. For now, mine is Surah 4, Ayat 74 in section 10. It stood out to me today. It's been said in previous surahs, though. It says, so let those fight in the way of Allah, who sell this world's life for the hereafter. And it said the opposite way as well. And what I thought about today was that there is it uses the word sell a lot, like sell the hereafter for the fire, or sell this for the hereafter. And it just makes me think about, okay, what is selling? Like if I had something and I'm selling it, sometimes I may be selling something that I enjoy. I may want the house, enjoy the house, but I gotta sell the house. I may want the car, but I gotta sell the car. Now, this may not be what this means, but this is how I'm interpreting it, and what I get from it personally is, you have to give up something, and it's not always something that you want to give up, but you have to give up something. You have to sell something, let go of something to get something that will ultimately be better for you. So oftentimes we got to sell something to get something that's better for us. We may not want it. In our mind, it may not be better for us at the moment, but it is actually in the end better for us. So be okay with making a sacrifice to have what God wants for us. Anybody else that was readers want to share? All right, Brother King Cam.
Yes, sir. The part that stood out to me really was Surah 4, verse 69. And it said, and whoever obeys Allah and the messenger, they are with those upon whom Allah has bestowed favors from among the prophets, and the truthful and the faithful and the righteous, and a goodly company are they. And the part where it says they are with those upon whom Allah has bestowed favors, that's part of our prayer. So that's a confirmation as to letting us know that the minister is right on time. And it is incumbent of us to be able to make sure that we are obeying him, because you can't obey Allah and not obey the messenger and still be upon whom Allah has bestowed favors from among the prophets and the truthful and the faithful and the righteous and a goodly company. So it's also mentioned in this reading about Abraham. Abraham was mentioned a few times because Abraham was the friend of God. And anybody that is trying to do the right thing wants to be the friend of God, wants to be the friend of the righteous. And it was distinctly laid out that Abraham was not neither a Christian nor a Jew, but he was an upright man. And he's described in that manner because of his complete submission to Allah and his ability to stand on what Allah had gave him. So I thought that was extremely important because this was just a confirmation that we're in the right place at the right time with the right man, and that if we continue to follow him, then we will be blessed and successful.
Yes, sir. Another one I had was ayat 88. And it's, well, I'll read the whole thing. Why should you then be two parties in relation to the hypocrites, while Allah has made them return to disbelief for what they have earned? This is the part that stood out. Do you desire to guide him whom Allah leaves in error? And whomsoever Allah leaves in error, thou canst not find a way for him. And there's a part somewhere in the Quran where it talks about their hearts being hardened. And, sometimes you may have somebody who you really want to help, but it's Allah who's leaving them in error. And there's literally nothing we can do about it, and it's just a reminder to not be so overwhelmed when you're trying to deliver someone and they don't want to be delivered, or they don't want to be guided, or they don't want to accept the knowledge, because it's a reminder also that the messenger's duty is just to deliver a clear message and join to do good. But belief is between them and God. And so it's just a reminder not to be so frustrated if you're trying to help someone and you're doing your job don't put that on you. Don't always think that. Sometimes it may be us. You ain't relating it right, or you ain't got the right spirit yourself, or you're not striving yourself. And sometimes it's that Allah's leaving them in error. So just focus on your duty, you giving it to them, and the blood is off your hands. Also, I want to clarify 89. Reason I want to clarify 89 is because some people misuse this quote and try to make Islam, this hateful religion. Slay them where you find them, and if they go back and turn and all this, they telling Muslims to kill. So I want to give context because I've defended this before online, and we got to remember the context of when this was being revealed as well, and remember to take the principles just for modern time. So in 89, it says they long that you should disbelieve as they have disbelieved, so that you might be on the same level. So take not from among them friends until they flee their homes in Allah's way. Then if they turn back to hostility, seize them and kill them wherever you find them, and take no friend nor helper from among them. So I with the help of the great chat GPT, I didn't feel like Googling it, so I got some help and some context. So what this is referring to actually is in self-defense. So this was this was at a time that the Muslims had migrated to Medina from Mecca, where they had faced intense persecution and violence from the ruling, Quraysh tribe in Medina. The Muslims formed a community under the leader of Prophet Muhammad and faced continued hostility from non-Muslim tribes in the region. According to the interpretation, Surah 489 was revealed in response to the treacherous behavior of some non-Muslim tribes who had made treaties with the Muslims, but then violated those treaties and attacked them. So when you hear, and I think it's in other places as well, where it says where you see them slay them, and it's talking about not taking friends, is because the Muslims at that time was basically being taken advantage of by the non-Muslims. They would come to a treaty, come to peace, and then they would go against it for towards the Muslims, and we fight with those who fight with us. So I just want to give context to that. I don't want anybody thinking that this is talking about like in 2023 your friend turned to go seize him and kill him, and they teaching some type of hate stuff. So I just want to give some context to that. Anybody else? All right, well, I got another one. This one where it talks about the secret councils. There is no good, 114, section 17, 114. There is no good in most of their secret councils, except in him who enjoins charity or goodness or reconciliation between people. And whoever does this, seeking Allah's pleasure, we shall give him a mighty reward. So these secret councils, as it's saying, most of the secret councils are no good. So this is just a reminder to be mindful of the slack talk, reminder of, especially if you haven't gone to that person first directly to deal with the problem. And even if we are trying to use deceptive intelligence and, we talking about it in private, it says, except in him who enjoins charity or goodness or reconciliation between the people. So if the purpose and the intention of it is not for reconciliation, then whatever we talking about, whoever we talking about, we are in error, and it is no good whatever our secret council is about if the intention isn't of these things right here. That's what I got from it, because I'm pretty sure there's a lot of secret councils. I'm pretty sure people have tried to, put us in secret councils before, gossiping or, group chats talking about one another, about what we think and we don't even know. Got the wrong interpretation, wrong intentions, just straight up wrong. So if it's not to enjoin charity or goodness or reconciliation between the people, then we're probably in a secret council or starting a secret council that is not good. Anybody else got something that stood out for them? All right, well, I got one more. Okay, we had 142, section 21. 142. The hypocrites seek to deceive Allah, and He will requite their deceit to them. And when they stand up for prayer, they stand up sluggishly. They do it only to be seen of men and remember Allah but little. So that last part for me gives context for me. I may be interpreted wrong, but for me personally, the purpose of prayer. This takes me back to the minister talking about not to be ritualistic in prayer. You know, many of us will go through the motions and let people know that we're fasting, let people know that we're praying. Oh, it look like she praying 5 times a day, whatever the case may be. But it says they stand up sluggishly. They do it only to be seen of men and remember Allah but little. So to me, the real focus of it is the remembrance of Allah. So to me, it makes me think about when the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said it's better to teach separation than prayer. Because if we're not separated and we're making the rituals and we haven't separated, then shoot, we still slaves doing our prayer. So it's like we going through the rituals, but we not remembering Allah and all of maybe the other commandments and things that He puts on us. So as I interpret this, it's better for one, like when we ask, did we pray? I think a better question is, did you remember Allah? Because we talk about the ritual. Did you do this? Did you pray at this time? Did you remember Allah? Because many of us go through the ritual and we can remember the prayer and we're just stating the prayer, which is cool. That's good. We don't remember the prayer. It's cool. We don't remember the supreme wisdom. We know it by heart. But are you living it? Do you understand the reason? Like the minister says, the greatest question we can ask is why? Why did God ask why in the supreme wisdom? So we got to go deeper than just I can remember the question and the answer. So that right there, man, that's what that brought out. And it says, and remember Allah but little. So you can be praying, but if you remember Allah but little, you defeating the purpose. So that's what I got from that. Brother King Cam.
Yes, sir. So I wanted to bring out Surah 4:143, where it said, wavering between that and this, belonging neither to these nor to those, and whomsoever Allah leaves in error, thou would not find a way for him. And the way that I interpreted this in my understanding was that we have to now make a decision with ourselves to stand on righteousness and remove ourselves from the ways of this world. I believe, as adults, a lot of us know right from wrong, and we know what we could be doing, what we should be doing according to the scriptures and the things that we have been taught. But the world and the grip of Satan is so strong that even when you want to do right, oftentimes you still elect to kind of straddle the fence, if you will, and to, try to do the best that you can. But it reminds me of when people say, well, God knows my heart. And that's kind of a way for us to get away with doing evil and sins, but still trying to straddle that fence as also doing good as well. So if 143, when it mentions wavering between that and this, belonging neither to these nor those. So we kind of straddling that fence. We don't want to all the way be in the world, but we're not all the way in the righteousness and what we striving to be, because none of us have attained righteousness, but we're striving to make better decisions. We're striving to eat better. We're striving to follow the obedience of Allah and not allow our relationships and interrelationships and our social lives to dictate whether we do good or not, because I know that's a huge determining factor as to our changing in lifestyle over what is my parents going to say, what is my family going to think, what is my friends going to think once I start doing this, once I start going to the mosque. If I decide that, I want to do this because it spoke to me, because I believe that it was right and good for our people. But I don't want my friends to say, no, you down there with the Muslims, or you now reading the Quran, or all of these different things that are thrown up in our face, and it speaks to it in 143, where we're kind of wavering between this and that, and belonging neither to these nor those. Well, in the Quran, Allah makes distinction between the believers and the disbelievers. So there's a distinction in the line being drawn, and we have to ask ourselves, which side are we going to be on? Because it says to the believers, you have a helper in Allah. But to the disbelievers, then there's the chastisement that is waiting for you, a fire chastisement that is waiting for you. Because in 2023, after all of the prophets, Moses, Jesus, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, have come and given us guidance, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, have come and given us guidance and told us what we should be doing. At this point in time, the chastisement and wrath of Allah is upon all of the nations on the earth, but it's settled over America. And those who believe will have a helper in Allah, and those who disbelieve will have a chastisement in a bowl waiting for them. So I thought that really stood out as far as us asking ourselves, which side of the fence do we want to be on?
Yes, sir. Man. Anybody else want to share something that stood out to them before we close? While you're deciding if you do or not, you guys, as always, can text this number. Text just the word by itself, nation, to 833-276-7174. And that will put you on my text list. Anytime I post anything about the teachings, or we got anything going about the teachings, I will text you. For example, today is Monday, so we plan on doing a Twitter space. We don't know the topic just yet or the time exactly, but once we get the time and the topic, we'll text you guys. And basically, Twitter space is similar to Clubhouse, where you can come on, allow guests to come up and speak. So we'll dialogue about the topic, allow people to ask questions, etc. And so if you are on Twitter and would like to be a part of that, you can text that number, and whenever we do it, I can send you the direct space link, and it'll bring you right in. So things like that we do, you will always be alerted ahead of time. But I see no one else has pressed the number one. Thank you again to all of the readers. And again, share this with somebody else. Let's get up to 100 people by the end of Ramadan. Let's get over 100 people in here every morning by the end of Ramadan, because what we want to do. Oh, and this is for y'all who may see this on YouTube or elsewhere. The link is www.bit.ly/read Ramadan. So bit.ly/read Ramadan. And the passcode to the Zoom is Ramadan. But after Ramadan, we want to continue to do this, God willing. Okay, so we want to read maybe some other books, watch some lecture. We ain't gonna watch the whole lecture. We'll be here about 4 hours, but watch a clip of the lecture. And as we watch a clip of the lecture, we all dialogue about it. So we want to keep this thing going in the mornings, okay? So thank you all for listening. Assalamu alaikum and Ramadan Mubarak.
Alaikum salam, Ramadan.
Like,